Hey guys, it's your girl Tara Michelle. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Opinionated Scents, our safe space to discuss all things fragrance, whether we like them or not. Today, we're going to discuss the new Si Intense 2021 from the house of Giorgio Armani. I've been playing with this for about 24 hours, so this is relatively my first impression. I did write down my first impression because I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to do it on camera. I also hate doing actual, first impressions on camera because sometimes things just aren't blending well when they come fresh out the box. They have a traumatizing experience with being thrown here and there in the traveling process, and they just need to calm down a bit, get acclimated to their new home with me. So I wanted to be fair and play around with it for a day. I'm excited to say that I do like this. However, it is not so original that I can honestly come to you guys and say, you gotta have it right now. You gotta run right out and get it. So I only purchased the travel size because, of course, as I explained to you guys in my C range video, I didn't want to purchase another full bottle if it was gonna smell just like the other Parfum or like the original Si Intense from the black bottle. Well, with this one being the Si Intense 2021 version, the notes that they posted were different. However, I don't believe that the notes that they posted are all that are in this. So on Fragrantica, it says black currant syrup, Turkish rose, Davana, patchouli, and benzoin. There has to be way more to this because my nose picks up so much more than that. So let's go over my initial spray. My initial spray was on a card. I sprayed it and it pulled very green, very sharp, very bitter to me. I'm going to attribute that to the black currant syrup because the exact same thing happened to me with the Si Passion Intense, and it opens up with black currant syrup as well, as opposed to just the normal black currant that most of the other ones open up with. And I gave it time to open up and to breathe and develop. And then it started smelling in the air, just like the other Parfum. In the air, as I moved the stick around, when you spray it and then you're like this, all I smelled was the original EDP. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is truly supposed to be an intense version of the Eau de Parfum because the original black bottle Si Intense is not. It varies from the EDP in many ways. The notes, the smell, the beginning, the mid, all of that. Does it have the familiar DNA? Yes. But no, it's much fruitier and actually lighter. And to me, a different type of sweet from the EDP. So I thought they were bringing this back to reel it in and truly make this the intense version of that. I still do think that's what it's supposed to be because the sillage, the scent bubble around you, everything gives me the original DNA of the Eau de Parfum of Si. But when you're really diving into it and you're smelling it and you're in this wonderment because it's new and that's what we do with our new fragrances, you start to pick out things. Now, I'll tell you, I sprayed it on my skin because I wanted to see how it varied. And almost immediately on my skin, I picked up a peach or apricot note. And it was delicious. It was divine. It was everything beautiful in the world. And that was 3 differences I had already gotten. I forgot to mention this one, but when you smell it from the bottle, after you've sprayed it, it smells like perfume. And you know what I mean. It smells like, it doesn't smell like floral. It doesn't smell like fruit. It smells like a perfume, like the old perfumes where people just, you knew somebody was wearing perfume because it was like a chemical smell. I don't mean chemical in a bad way. I just mean like it smelled like a perfume instead of some perfumes you put on and you smell just like orange, or you smell just like tangerine, or you smell just like rose. This from the sprayer, the atomizer, smells like a perfume. I don't really like perfumes. So I'm glad that as you get it out and you spray it on a stick or you spray it on your skin, that tends to move along and go about its business. The peach and the apricot that I found on my skin, as quickly as it showed up, it vanished. And then we started to move into a green, smooth, creamy Si Eau de Parfum. About 30 minutes into it, it started to kick up with this spiciness that had a hint of citrus to it. It almost smelled like mandarin orange with some spice, and I was really digging that. Still surrounded by the beauty of the original DNA of the Si or the Parfum. You get the gist here. Like, the original DNA of the Si or the Parfum never, ever leaves. There's just these little magical things that happen in and around and about that DNA as you're paying closer attention to it. But when I leave the room and then I come back, all I get is the original Eau de Parfum. It is on the card or stick and on my skin when I'm just really digging into it that I get all the nuances and the different changes. So close up to your nose, no, it doesn't smell exactly like the Eau de Parfum to me. But if what you're projecting in the room is, I can't really say rush right out and get it. Should everybody get a sample or get the travel size? I think so, especially if you like the EDP. And then maybe once you're done with the EDP, you can go ahead and purchase this one for a little bit of a twist, because I do love the transitions. I love the peekaboo. I love the peekaboo that it plays with me with that peach note. And I even love the moment I got to spend with like a fresh, spicy citrus. And then it comes back in and it is like, oh, it's just pretty. It's pretty. It smells like Si Eau de Parfum, but different. There's a different type of sweetness. The blackcurrant syrup starts to mellow out and the green goes away. And it just becomes this really beautiful Turkish rose with the original DNA of Si Eau de Parfum, and just something special. I'm telling you, if there isn't peach, apricot, or osmanthus in this, then I don't know what is happening. But I really do like this. I really do like it. I prefer it. Okay, let me tell you this. I'm trying to cover all my bases to give you as much as I can in only having this for 24 hours. I pick up more of the citrus about an hour after it's been on the card than I do on my skin. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I just kept smelling it. I couldn't get enough of it. But I pick up more of the peach and the apricot on my skin than I do the card. And it lasts a little longer, like 15 seconds longer. I'm telling you, it does appear, disappear, act unlike anything I've ever seen before in my life. I mean, it's super quick. You got to really be paying attention or you're going to miss it. And the way that the dry down blends, the sweetness of the blackcurrant syrup minus the green bitter sharpness blends well with the Turkish rose and the Divana. I do not get much of the patchouli and the benzoin at all. I don't have any medicinal aspects to this. I don't have any super earthy aspects to this. I think when the patchouli shines is when it merges with whatever citrus that is. It feels like a mandarin orange or an orange. And then they just disappear too. Guys, if you don't own Si Eau de Parfum, I suggest you buy a travel size of this and see if it's your vibe. If you've owned the EDP before, try this and you liked it. Try this one when you want to just change things up a bit. If you were thinking about getting EDP and adding it back to your collection, get this one instead, or like I said, test it out. I like the games it plays. I like the variants. I wish they stayed around longer, but I can't knock it for what it does. It's pretty. For me, with the size of my collection and as many of the Si perfumes that I already have, I won't be purchasing anything bigger than the travel size that I have right now. I will put this in my collection once I'm done with the EDP. I like this one as opposed to that one. Not over it, because the original just means so much to me. Fiore's my favorite, then the EDP. But this one I would like to switch out just to give it some variance, just to shake things up a bit, just not to continue to be the same old mundane. What's the word I'm looking for when you can really predictable, not to be predictable. So if you want to shake things up a bit, if you want just enough of a difference for you to play around with on your skin, then go ahead and get this one. Now, the real test, and I will come back and talk about this later, is going to be how it performs on my clothes. Because you guys know, outside of testing, I don't really wear a lot of perfumes on my skin. So will it smell just like the EDP on my clothes? There's a huge chance that it might. Because all of the, because all of the magic that happens with the transitions and the varying stages, I feel like they happen more so on my skin with my body chemistry and my heat than on this. And if that's what the missing key is, if all of the games it plays and all of the different smells and scents and combinations I get to my nose are because of me or because of pulse points, that heat that the body gives off, then I don't see how my clothes are going to help with that. Unless this is a perfume you want to wear in the summer, and I've never craved C in the summer. So, we'll see. But you know, I had to touch base with you guys and let you know my first impressions on the new Si Intense 2021 version from the house of Giorgio Armani. I hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry I cannot be more concrete just yet. And even with me playing with this on my arm, on my hand, on a card yesterday, and then again today, I'm still getting the same thing. So I will say that it's pretty consistent. It's not night and day between the two. I am still getting all of the original DNA and all of those little nuances and the peekaboo of this and that. So I think that's pretty much going to be what it is. But again, we have to do full wears, multiple full wears, and then I'll let you know. But to me, I think it's worth getting. If you don't have a huge collection like mine, and if you don't already own all of them, or if you're a collector, by all means, you probably already have it anyway. But because I am conscientious of telling you to run out and get something, you know, if it's not needed, this is not a necessity if you own the EDP, to me, beyond a sample or the travel size. I think that's perfectly fine. So, yeah, thank you for spending this time with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and select the notification bell so that you never miss any of my future uploads. And until then, guys, I'll see you in the comments. Bye.